Welcome back, everyone. This is Tafim. Tonight's story is based on a real and disturbing incident. So sit back, relax, and make sure you're listening alone. If you enjoy horror stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, let's get into the story. My name is Peter Collins. I live in Ohio, USA. I've been watching your videos for a while now, and honestly, I never thought I'd have something like this to share. But what happened to me, I still can't explain it. This happened in 2023. I work as an electrical technician, and sometimes my company sends me overseas for short-term projects. Last year, I was assigned to Egypt, specifically near Luxor. At first, I was excited. I mean, it's Egypt. Ancient history, pyramids, temples. It felt like a dream. But that trip turned into something else. Something I wish I could forget. Our job was to restore power lines and install new electrical systems near an old excavation site. It wasn't a tourist area. In fact, it was far from everything. The nearest village was about 30 minutes away. We stayed in temporary housing set up by the company. There were 4 of us in the team. Everything was normal for the first couple of days. Then, things started getting strange. One night, around 2 a.m., I woke up suddenly. No reason, no noise, but I had this feeling, like someone was in my room. You know that feeling? When you're not fully awake, but your body knows something isn't right. I sat up in bed and looked around. Nothing. The room was dark, quiet. Then I heard it, a whisper, right next to my ear. "Peter." I froze. My heart started pounding instantly. I turned on the light as fast as I could. There was no one there. I even checked outside. Nothing. Just silence. The next day, I told one of my co-workers, Daniel. He didn't laugh. Instead, he looked at me and said, "You heard it too." That's when I realized I wasn't the only one. Daniel told me he had been hearing whispers for the past 2 nights, always around the same time, and always someone calling his name. At that point, it didn't feel like a coincidence anymore. Later that day, we spoke to a local worker named Hassan. He had been working around that area for years. When we told him what was happening, his face changed. He went quiet for a few seconds, then said something I'll never forget. "This land is not empty." We asked him what he meant. He just shook his head and said, "Some places should not be touched." That night, none of us could sleep. Around 1:45 a.m., the power suddenly went out. Complete darkness. At first, we thought it was just a system issue. But then, we started hearing footsteps. Not outside, inside. Walking, slowly, across the room. I grabbed my flashlight and turned it on. The beam was shaking in my hand. "Did you hear that?" Daniel whispered. Before I could answer, we both heard it. A voice, clear, cold. "Stay." It didn't sound human. We ran outside immediately. The other 2 guys were already out there. All of us heard it. Every single one of us. The next morning, we decided to check the site more carefully. There was a section we hadn't explored yet. A part of the ground that looked uneven, like something was buried underneath. We called in a small digging team. After a few hours, they uncovered something. A stone entrance, sealed, ancient. Hassan saw it and immediately told us to stop. "Close it," he said. "Don't open it." But our supervisor didn't listen. "This is part of the job," he said. So we opened it. The moment the seal broke, I felt it. A sudden drop in temperature, like the air itself changed. It felt wrong. We went inside. The tunnel was narrow, dark. The walls were covered in carvings, but they didn't look like normal Egyptian hieroglyphics. They looked distorted, like faces, twisted in pain. As we walked deeper, the whispers started again, faint at first, then louder, and this time, they weren't just calling our names, they were saying something else. "Stay, don't leave." One of the guys, Mike, suddenly stopped walking. He was staring at the wall. "What is it?" I asked. He didn't respond, he just pointed. I followed his finger. At first, I saw nothing. Then slowly, I noticed it. The carvings. They were moving. Not physically, but it felt like they were shifting, watching us. That's when Mike screamed, loud, terrified. He started backing away, then suddenly ran deeper into the tunnel. "Mike!" we shouted, but he didn't stop. We chased after him, but the deeper we went, the darker it got. Our lights started flickering. The whispers turned into screams. And then we found him. Mike was standing in the middle of a chamber, completely still, facing the wall. "Mike," I said slowly. He didn't move. I stepped closer, put my hand on his shoulder. He turned around, and I swear to God, that wasn't Mike. His eyes, they were completely black. No white, no emotion, just darkness. He smiled, slowly, and said, "You shouldn't have come here." Then the lights went out. I don't remember what happened next. All I remember is waking up outside, in the sunlight. Mike was gone. We searched for hours, called authorities. Nothing. No sign of him. We left Egypt the next day. None of us wanted to stay. But Tafim Bai, it didn't end there. Ever since I came back to the US, I've been hearing it again. The whisper, every night. Sometimes I wake up, and I'm not in my bed. I'm standing in the corner of my room, facing the wall, just like Mike. And last night, I heard something new. Not a whisper, a voice, clear, right behind me. "You left, but we didn't." I don't know what followed me. I don't know what we opened. But I know one thing for sure. Some doors are never meant to be opened. My name is Ryan Foster. I live in a small town in West Virginia, USA. I've been listening to your stories for a while, and I never thought I'd be writing one myself. But something has been happening to me for the past 3 weeks, and I don't think it's going to stop. It started with a phone call, a random number. No caller ID. I usually ignore those, but for some reason, I answered. There was no sound at first, just silence. Then, breathing. Slow. Heavy. Like someone was standing very close to the phone. "Hello," I said. No response. Just breathing. Then the call ended. I didn't think much of it until it happened again. Same time. 3:13 a.m. Different number. Same breathing. This went on for 4 nights. Every single time. 3:13 a.m. Always a different number. Always the same breathing. On the 5th night, it changed. I answered the call again. Silence. Then breathing. But this time, there was a voice. Very faint. Barely understandable. It said, "Look outside." I felt a chill run through my body. I live alone. There's nothing outside my house except trees and an empty road. I told myself not to do it. But curiosity got the better of me. I slowly walked to the window, pulled the curtain just a little, and looked outside. At first, I saw nothing. Then, I noticed something near the edge of the road. A figure, standing still. It was too dark to see clearly, but I could tell. It was tall, very tall, and thin. I stepped back immediately, closed the curtain. My heart was racing. Then my phone vibrated again. Same number, I answered. This time, the voice was clearer, closer. I see you. I froze. Slowly, I turned my head toward the window. The curtain was slightly open. I didn't remember leaving it like that. I walked toward it again, my hands shaking, and looked outside. The figure was closer now, much closer, standing right at the edge of my yard. I could see its face, or something like a face, but it wasn't human. Too long, too stretched, with a wide, unnatural smile. I stumbled back, dropped my phone, and then I heard it. Not from the phone, from inside my house. A whisper, right behind me. You should have stayed inside. I turned around. Nothing, but I could feel it. Something was there, close, watching me. I ran to my bedroom and locked the door. Didn't sleep that night. Didn't open the door until morning. When the sun came up, I checked outside. There were footprints, leading from the road all the way to my front door, but none leading away. I called the police. They checked everything, found nothing. Said it was probably a prank. But that night, at exactly 3:13 a.m., my phone rang again. I didn't answer. But then I heard something else. A knock. On my bedroom door. 3 slow knocks. And then a voice. Not through the phone this time. Right outside my door. Ryan. I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. Then it said, "Open the door." I don't know how long I stayed there. Frozen, listening. Eventually, the knocking stopped. The voice disappeared. But now, every night, at 3:13 a.m., I hear footsteps in my house. Walking, slowly, from the front door to my bedroom, and stopping right outside. It never knocks anymore. It just stands there, waiting. And last night, for the first time, I saw the doorknob slowly turning. My name is Marcus Reed. I'm from Portland, Oregon, USA. I've been thinking about writing this for months, but honestly, I was scared. Because I don't think this thing is over yet. And if I say too much, it might get worse. But I can't keep this inside anymore. This started back in late 2022. I had just moved into a new apartment. Nothing fancy. Just a small place on the 3rd floor of an old building. The rent was cheap, which was already a red flag. But I didn't think much about it at the time. The landlord was strange. He barely talked. Just handed me the keys and said one thing before leaving. "Don't open the storage room." I thought he meant the shared basement storage. So I just nodded and moved on. Big mistake. The first few nights were normal. Quiet. Peaceful. Too peaceful. Then, on the 4th night, I heard something. A sound coming from inside my apartment. A soft, dragging noise. Like something being pulled across the floor. I checked everything. Living room, kitchen, bathroom. Nothing. Then I noticed it. A door. At the end of the hallway. I swear, that door wasn't there before. It was small. Old. Painted the same color as the wall. Almost like it was trying to blend in. I walked closer. My heart started beating faster for no reason. Then I remembered what the landlord said. "Don't open the storage room." I stepped back, went to bed, trying to ignore it. But that night, I couldn't sleep because around 2:40 a.m., I heard it again. The dragging sound, this time coming from behind that door. I stayed in bed, frozen, listening. It went on for almost an hour. Then suddenly, it stopped. Complete silence. And then, a knock. 3 slow knocks from inside the door. I didn't move, didn't breathe. Then I heard something else. A voice. Marcus. My blood ran cold. I live alone. No one should know my name inside my apartment. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and slowly walked toward the door. Their handle was moving. Not violently, just slowly, turning back and forth, like something on the other side was trying to open it. I ran back to my room and locked the door. Didn't come out until morning. The next day, I called the landlord, told him everything. He went silent for a long time. Then he said something that still haunts me. "You heard it already?" I asked him what he meant. He refused to explain, just told me again, "Do not open that door." At that point, I should have left. But I didn't, because part of me needed to know. What was behind that door? 2 nights later, I made the worst decision of my life. I opened it. The smell hit me first. Rotten, heavy, like something had been decaying for years. I almost threw up inside. There was a narrow staircase going down, pitch black, no light. I stood there for a long time, thinking. Then I stepped inside. Each step creaked, loud, echoing. Halfway down, I started hearing it again. The dragging sound, closer now. At the bottom, there was a room, small, concrete walls, no windows. And in the corner, something was moving. Slowly, I pointed my flashlight, and I saw it, a figure, crawling. Its body was wrong, limbs too long, bent in unnatural angles. Its head was turned toward the floor, face hidden. It stopped moving. Then slowly, it lifted its head and looked at me. I wish I could explain what I saw, but I can't. Its face didn't look real. Too wide, too stretched, with eyes that didn't blink, and a smile that wasn't meant for a human face. It whispered. "You opened it." I couldn't move. My body was frozen. Then it started crawling toward me. Fast. Too fast. I turned and ran up the stairs, slamming the door behind me. But before it closed completely, I heard it, right behind me, laughing. That night, everything changed. The sounds didn't stop anymore. Every night. The dragging, the knocking, the whispering. But now, it wasn't just behind the door. It was inside the apartment. I started seeing things. Shadows moving, corners getting darker than they should be. And sometimes, I would wake up and find myself standing in front of that door, hand on the handle. I don't remember getting there. A week later, I noticed something else. The door wasn't closed anymore, just slightly open, every night, no matter how many times I locked it. One night, I decided to leave, pack my things and get out. As I was grabbing my bags, I heard a voice, not from behind the door, from inside my head. "You can't leave." I froze. Then slowly, I looked toward the hallway. The door was wide open, and inside, it was darker than before. Deeper, like it wasn't just a room anymore, like it was something else. And then it stepped out, slowly, crawling, coming toward me. I ran, didn't stop, didn't look back. I'd left everything behind. Moved to a different city, different apartment. I thought it was over. I was wrong. Because last night, at exactly 2:40 a.m., I heard it again. The dragging sound, coming from my closet. And when I opened it, there was a door that wasn't there before. My name is Kevin Marshall. I'm from Illinois, USA. I've been thinking for a long time about whether I should share this. What happened to me goes back to 2001, and after all these years, it's starting again. Back then, I was 19. I had just started college and moved into an old rented house with 2 friends. The rent was cheap, too cheap. The house itself was old. Creaky floors, thin walls, and a basement we planned to use for storage. When we moved in, the landlord barely spoke. He just handed us the keys and said, "If you hear anything from downstairs at night, ignore it." We laughed. We shouldn't have. The first week was normal. Then, one night, I woke up suddenly. I checked the time. 2:17 a.m. I don't know why I woke up, but something felt off. Then I heard it from the basement. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Dragging. I sat up in bed, listening carefully. At first, I thought it was just the house making noise. But then, I heard a voice. "Kevin?" It was faint, distorted, like more than one voice speaking at the same time. I froze. Both my roommates were asleep. There was no one else in the house. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and stepped into the hallway. The sound got clearer as I got closer to the basement door. Every time I took a step, the noise stopped. And when I stood still, it started again, like it was reacting to me. I stood in front of the basement door, my hand close to the handle. Then the voice came again. "Kevin, come down." Something about it felt wrong. Not human. I stepped back, went to wake my roommate. They didn't believe me. Until the next night, 2:17 a.m. again. This time, we all heard it. The footsteps, the dragging, and the voice. Calling our names. That's when we made a mistake. We decided to check the basement. We opened the door together. The smell hit us first. Rotten, damp, heavy. The basement was completely dark. Our flashlights were the only light. We went down slowly. Each step felt heavier, like the air was pressing against us. At the bottom, nothing. Just empty space. Concrete walls. Old shelves. We were about to leave when Jake stopped. "Do you hear that?" he whispered. We listened. Then we heard it. Scratching. Coming from inside the wall. At first it was soft, then louder, faster, more aggressive. Like something was trying to get out. Jake moved closer, put his ear against the wall. Then suddenly, he jumped back. "What did it say?" I asked. He didn't answer. His face had gone pale. "Let's go," he said. "Now." We ran upstairs, locked the basement door. That night, Jake disappeared. No noise, no broken windows, nothing. And he was just gone. The police came, searched everything. The house, the basement. They found nothing. No sign of him. After that, we left the house immediately. I never went back. Years passed, nothing happened. I tried to forget, until last week. I woke up again, same time, 2:17 a.m. Same feeling. Then I heard it, from my closet. Slow, dragging, footsteps. And then the voice. after all these years. Kevin, I don't know how it found me. I don't know what followed me. But I know one thing. Whatever was in that basement, it didn't stay there.